Hello, Robbie Susan Chandler here from RobbieSusanCardsandCrafts.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives in Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. The card I'm sharing with you today is made with the Magnolia Mood Bundle, which is an online exclusive. And that number is 163507, but I will have a link below for all the products that I'm showing you today. But this is the card, and along with showing you the Magnolia Mood Bundle, I'm also going to show you a technique that's really cool called overstamping that really makes these magnolias pop. Alright, here's the card. I'm going to open it up and show you the inside. We have a decal circle on this side, and unfortunately this happy birthday was stamped with the go-to greetings, which last week was current, but this week is not. So when we make this card today, I'm going to use a different happy birthday, which is actually the one in the Magnolia Mood. So let's get started on this card. Oh, and I will show you that we made this card as a Mother's Day card in my class, and this was the stamp we put inside for Mother's Day, and this was a celebration stamp. Alright, let's look at our pieces. Alright, our card base is Mossy Meadow, and you start out with 5.5 by 8.5, our normal half card. But you cut 2 1/8 off the end and save that piece because that piece is going to go right here on the front. So I cut that piece off the end. So this is 5.5 by 6 3/8 by the time you cut this off, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So here's the piece I cut off, but I trimmed it down to 2 by 5 1/4. You see it's a little bit shorter, and then when you lay it on the 2 1/8, it's a little bit narrower. So that's our base. Now this piece I also embossed with timber. And let me hold that up so you can see the design in it. Now timber is one of our 3D embossing folders that you will need our gray plate to run through your machine. It's a little bit thicker, so the gray plate is the secret to that one. Now inside, that piece I showed you inside is a 4x4 piece of soft seafoam. Now let's look at the circles on the outside. These circles. So I used the deckled circles. That's out of the way. And I cut my soft seafoam piece. I started out with a piece that was 5.5 by 4 1/4. And this is the third to the largest deckled circle. So I cut it like this. And then I scored it at 1/4 inch. And just folded it in like that. And this is going to be your flap. And then with the fourth to the largest, I cut this piece. I started out with 4 by 5 1/4, and I cut this. Now this paper is from, it's a really neat pack. It's from Country Woods, and you see all the different designs in here. I used some of these to make my birdhouse card, but here's the piece that we used on this card today. So this is the Country Woods, and it's in the new annual catalog. Alright, so we have this piece cut with the fourth to the largest deckled, and this one with the third to the largest deckled. Now after I cut that piece, I also embossed it with the timber. I just stuck it in here and ran it through and ended up with this piece. Now it's like, it wasn't wood grain enough. I decided it needed to have a little more wood grain, so I wood grained it a little bit more. Alright, so now let's look at how we put this down. Let's start with this piece, and this folds in, so this would be the front of our card. So this piece you just fold and you adhere it right here. So when it folds up, it's going to be even right there along the edge. So this one, I've already done that. So here's my timber on the front, and then I glued that down, and I put my happy birthday on top of it. So you have this look. And then this piece I had to measure. After I cut it, it was a little bit long, so I measured it and cut the end off, and adhere that on top like that. So here's our finished look. Well, this one I wanted to show you where I glued it down. So let's go ahead and put the sentiment inside. See, here's the sentiment from Magnolia Mood. the happy birthday, and then this little pod is that one right there. And I stamped everything in Mossy Meadow. And the cardstock's Mossy Meadow. I don't know if I mentioned that. And I stamped all my flowers on just basic white. Alright, so this piece just goes right in here. Had some customers that decide to make this a sympathy card, which I guess that would work too. Okay, so now we have our basic card made. Let's talk about the magnolias and work on them. As you can see, they're really very pretty but very simple to make. Alright, the first thing you need to do is cut out one of them, or first cut a, well, when you cut one out you will have a stencil basically left. So you need a stamp positioner, and any brand that you have will work. So I used the Magnolia Mood die. I cut out my Magnolia. Drop it in your hole here, and it's really important that you get it right inside the stencil area, because you want it, because we'll be dropping it back in there again when we finish coloring to do our overstamping. That's what really makes it pretty, is the overstamping. Alright, let's see what we got. I've noticed some of the leaves on this you have to really press to get the detail. Oh, that looks good. I'm going to do it one more time, make it just a touch darker, but I think that looks really good. Okay, there we go. Now, to color this, I basically just used, which one is this? Light Lemon Lolly to color my center. You see that? And then I used the dark petal pink to just outline. And that's really all I'm doing here, is I've just outlined my my Magnolia. I'll show you on this one. Make sure I'm in the area here. There we go. So what I did, I went over all the areas that were green. I didn't color in the white. I just wanted to outline, because I wanted just a hint or an idea that this was pink. So see, by just outlining on your green areas, it gives it that kind of pinky color. So that's what I did to my whole Magnolia, and it ended up looking like this. Put my cap back on. Alright, now let's get to the leaves. The leaves are kind of a secret here, how I did them. So this one I have colored 3 of the leaves already, but I saved this one to show you how. So I used light Mossy Meadow, then I switched to dark Mossy Meadow, then I went back to light Mossy Meadow. So I'll show you on this one. I left this one leaf down here to show you. So first I colored the whole leaf with the Mossy Meadow. Then I went back, just going to leave that like that because I need to use it again. Then I went with the dark, and I just went over all the, kind of outlined the edge, and went over the streaks, the veins, anything that looked a little dark. I added a few more here. Just wanted to add some detail in there. And then I came back with my light Mossy Meadow and blended it all together. Alright, now we have our whole Magnolia colored here, but here's the fun part. You want to put it back in your stamp positioner. This is what I call the overstamping. You want to drop it right back in the hole and make sure you get it right back where it was. Sometimes if you didn't get it in the right place to begin with, when you come back in and do it the second time, it doesn't look as well. And I'm going to hold this up close so you can see what it looks like. So try to kind of remember. And I have one here that I have not overstamped yet, but I've colored, so I want to show you the difference in the two. So ink up your Magnolia, And just bring it over and stamp. Ta-da! Beautiful. Now let me show you the difference. Here's the one we just stamped. Here's the one not stamped. See the difference in the leaves? How much nicer they look. This one I hadn't done yet, so I want to use it on a card, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Let's ink it up. Make sure it's in the hole. Bring it over and give it a good stamp. Now this one I had already done, so you can see all the details in the leaves there. There we go. Isn't that pretty? See how the leaves just kind of pop? I really think it makes a difference. Let me move this out of the way. Alright, let's finish our card. Here we go. So, this one I already have a few dimensionals on. This one I'm going to work with, but let's go ahead and put this one down first, because there's a little trick to the second one. I really love these magnolias. In fact, I have a magnolia tree in my yard, but down here they call some of them bay leaf trees, but they have the big magnolia blooms on them. Alright, now to put this one on, it was really going to look weird off the page, and I kept turning it, couldn't figure it out what I wanted to do with it. So then I decided I was going to cut off this section. So I just cut right along here, and then went down here and cut this leaf off, just like that. So see, now I have this section here. We want to trim that little lip off. Okay, so let's put some dimensionals on these pieces, and then we'll pop them down. I think 3 should be plenty to hold this. I hope you like this overstamping technique, because try it with some of your flower stamps and other stamps with a lot of detail. I think you'll really like it. Okay, I'm going to stick this one right here, and then this other magnolia, I'm going to pop it going downward like this. I'm going to stick that right up under there. There we go. Perfect. Right where I wanted it. Okay, there we go. So see, we have one going down, this one going up, and I think that looks much better instead of trying to put both of them going in the up direction. So there's our card. Isn't that fun? Happy birthday. I think anyone who'd get this card would love it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, and like my video, and I hope you'll try this overstamping, and look for my other video with the zinnia. It's called Overstamping with Zinnia. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And until next time, happy crafting.